Hi guys and gals, my name is Doug Wilson and this is Yellow Hawk Customs Outdoors. I like to spend a lot of time out in the bush, out in the field, right, in the woods. And for years now I've always carried, not so much on my person, but in the truck or the Jeep or whatever, a basic readiness toolkit, right? And that's what I've always called it, just a basic readiness toolkit. And that basically houses in a bag of some sort, and I'm getting ready to show it to you, some basic tools that you're definitely going to need in a shit hits the fan situation, or an emergency, or roadside assistance, or a wilderness adventure debacle, whatever, right? Okay, so this is all about being prepared, okay? And I like to be prepared for just about anything that comes along, although I'm not as nutso as some guys get over being prepared, right? Which is that's not a bad thing, right? Just, I think some guys go overboard on it, that's all. You know, there's a fine line between being prepared and being paranoid, right? So I've been in some pretty tough situations in the military. I've kind of been mellowed out because of those tough situations. In everyday life, I don't know about you, but in everyday life, I can only think of twice where I was in a real live life and death emergency situation in civilian life. Now in the military it's different, especially in special forces. It's a lot different than SF. So, but as far as every day, I'm getting ready to show you the kit that I carry in the vehicle or whatever. Sometimes I'll sling it over my shoulders for a day hike, or put it in my satchel, you know, my Hidden Woodsman haversack, whatever. That's another video coming up. I just got a Hidden Woodsman day ruck. Oh man, this thing is sweet. I should show it to you. I'll go get it after the introduction. So anyway, you guys stay tuned, and I'm going to show you what I carry in my basic readiness toolkit, and we'll have a good time. Hopefully you'll enjoy the video and garner some decent information to take away from it. So you guys stay tuned. We'll get right to it. Okay guys, thanks for sticking around after that pretty cool introduction, right? Anyway, before I show you the basic readiness toolkit, I want to show you a couple of Mike Wallace knives. It's www.wallaceedgedtools.com. Okay? I have a lot of knife makers to pick from out there, right? But after being in the field for as long as I've been in the field, there are a few knife makers that I like above others, okay? And I tell you, I've got quite a bit of experience with knives across the board, custom and production, okay? So let's show you these knives here, okay? Now, Mike Wallace is, in my opinion, one of the finest custom knife makers that you can purchase a custom knife from. The reason is because his designs they fit me. His designs fit me. And that's basically the reason why I really attend to his knives like I do. Number one, they are just battle combat proven, okay? This knife here is a Spear 1. It's Mike's design. I'm sorry, this is the Spear 2. Spear 2. This is Mike Wallace's design. When you got a guy who has been building knives since the age of 9, right? For a lot of guys in the military especially, he tends to produce designs that work, that are highly utilitarian, very strong. Mike only uses the best quality materials, etc., etc. Okay? He's been doing it a long time. This is his Spear 2 design. This is basically a combat utility fighter. That's what this is. It's a 6-inch blade. Now this one's been modified a little bit for the client. That's where the custom part comes in. These are all custom knives. You contact Mike Wallace and he will build you a badass combat grade knife, such as a Spear 2, right? This is his Spear 2. Just going to give you a good look at it. This belongs to a client in Canada. His name is Marco Demichel. Marco Demichel. And him and I have been talking on the phone, emails, texts, right? Seems to be a pretty knowledgeable guy. He's an avid outdoorsman. So I've been helping him with knives, and we're going to build some sheath systems for him, recommending certain things to him for the field, and whatnot, okay? This is his. Basically what we have here is CPM3V steel, right? And, you know, are there better steels than CPM3V out there? A few, but they're really expensive, okay? I factor cost into this too. CPM3V is not extremely expensive. It's expensive, and it's difficult to work with for the knife maker, but it's not extravagantly expensive, okay? But still, one of the finest steels out there, right? As far as edge retention, toughness, wear resistance, you name it, okay? What I really like about CPM3V is, you know how when you get a forgeable steel knife like 01 or 1095, and you try to strike a ferro rod with it, after 20-30 strikes, that sharp spine starts to get dull and you have to reprofile it. This one, that doesn't happen. This is way harder than a ferro rod. Much harder, okay? And it will withstand strike after strike after strike after strike after strike without dulling. That's what I really like. That's one of the biggies for me, right? Is it a strong steel that doesn't wear out? Yes. Okay? So Mike Wallace produces this Spear 2. It's got a nice choke-up choil there. And, you know, his choke-up choils are all chamfered. There's no sharp edges on it to catch your finger or whatever. He is a great knife designer, and he knows comfort above all else. I think a lot of custom knife makers could take some lessons from Mike as far as comfort for their handles and whatnot, okay? There are other great knife makers out there, don't get me wrong. Brenton Good from Quick Hatch Knives, got a lot of respect for that guy. Fiddleback Forge, Pete Kohler. There's quite a few other great knife makers. William Collins, Jason Knight. I spoke to Jason on the phone, I don't know, a month or so ago, and he's looking into giving me one of his designs to put some sheath systems on. So I actually have to get on that. But here it is. This is the Spear 2 from Mike Wallace at Wallace Edged Tools. This is a badass combat utility fighter It can be a bushcrafter, a camp knife, whatever, right? His knives tend to overlap certain fields, which I think a good knife maker does that. He overlaps from camping to utility to fighting to combat, you know, that kind of thing, right? So it's an all-around woods blade. And this is a beast. You can chop with it, right? I'm pretty sure this particular spear too is like almost 7 inches long, right? Where usually they're 6, I think. You have to check out the specs on his website, right? He's got a pyro plug for bow drill, right? Bow drill fire, which is very convenient. I have a couple of videos on my channel showing me using the divot on my Delta Whiskey backcountry that he also builds. That's one of my designs. And they're very effective, right? Almost no resistance on this copper or brass plug that he uses, okay? It furnishes almost no resistance as far as the spindle in the point, you know, and going back and forth with the bow. It's pretty slick, okay? So I enjoy it. I use my Delta Whiskey backcountry quite a bit for bow drill fires. Now some guys don't like them, right? They think they're unwieldy, or you know, they're going to cut themselves with the knife. If you're careful, I've never cut myself. I don't put the sheath on the knife, right? This is what I do, right? I grab it, crank down on it, and I usually keep the blade away from me, so I usually do it this way, okay? Do it this way. There's a nice handle right here for your forefinger, right? You push down on that thing and zzz, 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 right? Just takes practice with anything, right? And you just keep the edge away from you. If you put the sheath on it, okay, we'll use this one as an example. With a big knife like that, the sheath is a little wide. You know what I mean? The sheath is a little wide. Oh, you can do it. You can do it. I just like to take the knife out of the sheath and use it. That's just me, okay? I'm one of those guys just like lives on the edge, right? Right? I'm about as safe as they come. I'm a big teddy bear. All right, anyway, there's the knife. Got a high saber grind. You can also give you a full flat grind or a Scandi grind or whatever, right? Here's the other one. This is his new field mouse, okay? I actually wear one almost every day, right? He just built this one for me, and you can see it's got strike marks on it, right? From a ferro rod, right? And this spine just doesn't dull. It doesn't dull, okay? Eventually it will, eventually, right? But it stays sharp for a long, long time, okay? And, you know, as far as wear resistance on the edge, it's incredible, all right? You can see the scallops where you put your forefinger, right, for the finger guard. This is an outstanding small utility knife that I carry all the time. 1/8 inch stock CPM 154, which if you're not familiar with super steels or the CPM steels, CPM 3V or CPM 154, right? You also have CPM M4, and there's other ones too, okay? But for those two, CPM 154 is, for all intents and purposes, the stainless version of CPM 3V, which is a high carbon steel, okay? But they both strike a ferro rod just fine, okay? So this is my field mouse. This was modified just a little bit. It's a little thinner than 1/8 inch, okay? And then here's Marco's. Got, you know, the blue textured jig pattern, right? It's got black in it, and he's got orange liners for safety, you know, so you don't lose your knife, that kind of thing, right? Safety lanyard on the back. All right, I just wanted to show them to you because we're getting ready to do sheath systems for those that send them out to Canada for Marco de Michel. Here's your shout out, brother. Okay, on to bigger and better things. The basic readiness toolkit. that I carry. I'm sorry, I'm shaking the table and it's right. Okay, so I'm going to start with the pouch that I keep it in. Okay, now I'm one of those guys that likes a pouch within a pouch within a pouch. You get what I'm saying? So that when you need something, you just take it out of the pouch. If you need something in there, you take the other pouch out, right? Everything's organized. So, like, I spent a lot of time in the military. At night, your gear, especially on ops, right? Especially in special forces. In ops, you're in a blackout situation. You can't turn on any lights, right? Even red lights will give you away, right? So you've got to know where your gear is in the dark. So I became pretty adept at compartmentalizing all my gear and knowing where it is in the dark. All I got to do is feel for it, okay? So that's kind of a carryover from my military days, okay? So here's the pouch that I keep this kit in, okay? This is Donald Gamber. Now, the pouch really doesn't matter. I just think this is badass. Donald Gamber from Gamber Leather Crafting. He's on Facebook. He's on YouTube, I think. Yeah, he is. Okay. He made this pouch for me, and it's actually in honor of my best friend, right? Bob the Grizz Bieshke. Okay. It's in honor of him. I carry this pouch because every time I look at it, I think of him, okay? Because it's a grizzly pouch. It's got a grizzly bear on it, okay? All hand-tooled, right? Here's a picture of the grizzly bear here. I don't know if you can see that, right? And then on the front, there's a bear paw with some Native American motif on it. It's hard to see, but it's hand-tooled into the leather, and it looks like he burned it in there. Okay, that's one way of hand tooling, burning. So I love the pouch. It's got a grizzly bear claw on it, right? And you know, some tear marks here from, you know, right? It's cool as hell. I just love the pouch, and it reminds me of my best friend, the Grizz. Okay, so I keep that. And I keep essentials in it, okay? So, let's start. All right, the main kit that goes inside, remember a pouch within a pouch within a pouch, right? The main pouch that I keep the majority of these items in is a Cry Precision magazine pouch. It's a double magazine pouch, 2 9mm magazines together, right? But I use it as a utility pouch, a tool pouch, okay? And most of this stuff fits in this small pouch, right? Pouch within a pouch within a pouch type thing, right? Okay, so let's start with the first set of items I carry for my knives, okay? I carry a DC4 sharpening stone. This is a DC4 from Falkniven Knives, okay? DC4, Delta Charlie 4. It's got a diamond stone, a fine diamond stone side, and it's got a fine ceramic side, okay? Fine. I generally don't carry heavy and medium grit stones. I just don't. They're basically for reprofiling messed up edges, okay? Or completely dull edges. I don't have a knife that has a completely dull edge. Not that I know of, anyway. It's like my religion to keep them sharp. Okay, I've always been that way. And you should be too. All your knives, especially the ones you use, right? Because you never know when you got to grab a knife and go, right? You never know when it could happen. And, you know, there's one piece of wisdom that I can impart to anybody out there is never say never, because it's going to happen the second you say never. Okay, so sharpening, DC4, right? I'm going to put this over here. Boom. And I also carry, these come off of my Sheath Systems, right? A diamond rod. This is a fine diamond rod. Okay, some people might say it's a medium to fine, okay? But the more you use it, the finer it gets. That's pretty cool. It's got a conical end for serrations or whatever. You can sharpen straight edges on this too, okay? It's got a fish hook sharpener on it. It's got a flat end, and it's got a round portion as well, okay? This diamond rod is covered in diamond dust, and they're very durable, right? Very difficult to wear out. Takes years. It depends on how long you use it, how much you use it, but, and the great thing is with my sheath systems, if you wear it out, if you can, just get a new one. No big deal. I got them here. Just contact me. Not like I'm going out of business anytime soon. Okay? So I carry that as well. Okay? Because I prefer, honestly, some guys sharpen a different way, some guys don't. Okay? I prefer, let's just use this guy right here. Okay? This has got my flip out ferro rod on it. This is a Mora sheath system, and I reprofiled the spine. This is from Malcolm Coder from the Hidden Woodsman. I reprofiled the spine, made it a 90 degree, nice and sharp for him. These are stainless steel, these Moras here, okay? I'm pretty sure it's part of their Craft Line series, but it's basically a basic Mora. I forget the name, the Clipper, Mora Clipper, all right? It probably has another name, but there's our logo on the front with a shore up plate. This is one reason I put these plates on. They're cool looking, right? They also serve another purpose in that they shore up the edge for when you use the flip out ferro rod, right? And you use the sheath as the handle for the ferro rod, because they're always hard to grab, right? And you strike it, it keeps it nice and sturdy, right? Keeps that Kydex from bending, okay? That's why they shore up plates on there. So it's not just pretty, there's a function to them too, right? There's that. This is basket weave pattern, basket weave. All right, so that was from Malcolm Coder. Thought I'd just get it on a video. So I like to take the sharpener to the steel, right? This is taking the steel to the sharpener, right? Steel to the sharpener. I like to take the sharpener to the steel. Okay, I get more control that way, right? It's easier to control this thin little rod than it is this, you know, 1/2 inch or 3/4 or 1 inch blade, whatever, right? So, you get what I'm saying? So it's easy to do that with a rod rather than a stone. I mean, you can take a stone to it, but you can't see anything. It's hard to get the right angle. It's easier with a rod. At least for me it is, okay? So I carry that as a sharpener as well. And I carry a strop, okay? For field sharpening, that's it. That's all I carry. Usually it's just these two. Usually. I have a sheath system, like this guy here, right? This one has one of our other options. This is a fine to extra fine diamond rod, okay? Fine to extra fine diamond rod. You can opt for this as well, okay? Now just take it off, right, and use it in the field, because like there it is, it's on your knife, okay? These are kind of like no-brainer things. I put a lot of thought and effort into these sheath systems, and they work and work well, right? In my opinion. We got thousands of other clients who say the same thing. So, and then a strop, right? This one happens to have black Bark River compound on it. This is the higher grit, but still low enough to give you a nice polished edge. Okay? You can also put white on these, or green, or Starkey blue, whatever you want. Okay? I generally put black on there. Sometimes I'll use the Starkey blue. It depends on what I'm doing. Okay? Sometimes I carry 2 of these in the field. I'm talking about field sharpening. I'm not talking about home sharpening. Home sharpening, you can have all the accoutrements you want. But my suggestion is keep it simple. learn one way of doing it and get really good at it. If you're switching from method to method to method to method, you're never going to get good at any one of those methods. Okay? So pick something, be the best you can be at it, then move on. Okay, so that's for sharpening. So for field sharpening, at the most, this is what I use. No big stones, no heavy systems, nothing. This is all you need for hand sharpening in the field. It's all you need. Okay, I could, if I wanted to, okay, this is another option, put compound on the flap of my pouch, right? Put it on a you know, a flat surface and strap on this. I could, right? I could also use, and I've done this quite a bit, this has strap compound on it. Take these two screws out and use the dangler leather as a strap. It's perfect. It works perfectly. Okay? So I've done that as well. Okay? But it's just as easy to carry a small piece of leather. You notice this is not on a piece of wood, right? With a big handle. You don't need that stuff. If you want to carry it, by all means, right? If there's a reviewer out there that loves a certain strap with a gigantic handle on it, take his opinion and buy one, right? But if you want to go lightweight but still very effective, piece of leather will do you just fine. Okay? I can help you out with that. I can send you a piece of good leather already loaded with compound. I can send you a diamond sharpener, whatever. Okay? Just hit me up. I'm here. Okay, next. Here's another diamond sharpener that I might use. These are smaller diamond sharpeners, which I find very effective, and we put them on smaller sheath systems, like something like this. It would fit right on the front here, you know. But this is a smaller diamond, and these are fine as well. Okay? Just a mini version of the bigger one. Right? So I could carry one of these as well. This is a Lansky tactical sharpener. Lansky tactical sharpener, right? Every once in a while I get a client who asks me if I can put one of these on his system. Why does he ask me? Because he's seen it on other sheath systems, sometimes even on mine, right? If the client wants it on there, I will do it. However, I recommend against it. It's heavy, it's bulky, right? I mean, this thing weighs 3 times what this does. 3 times, easy, right? And it's bulky, right? The actual rod part, not a whole lot different. Let me get it all the way out. Not a whole lot different than this one, okay? This one's actually a little longer if I put my own handle on it like I did on this one here, right? It's actually a little longer, right? So you get more surface area out of it. But the reason I use these, right, is because they work and they work well. And these are too damn heavy, too damn bulky, right? So I prefer not to use them, okay? Now you might say, well, it's got those carbide jaws on it. You don't need carbide jaws. The only time you would have to use this is if you severely chipped your blade and needed to severely reprofile it. Then even then, it's going to take you hours to do it, okay? So that, in my opinion, they can just cut that off of there. They don't even need it, okay? Just because it's Lansky doesn't mean they always know what they're doing, that kind of thing, you know. It's bulky and it's heavy, so I don't use them, okay? I'm giving you the facts here. If somebody's getting their feathers ruffled, I'm sorry, but these are the facts, okay? They're too heavy. They're too bulky, right? This little diamond rod does the same thing in a smaller, lighter package, okay? Just as strong, right? How strong does a sharpener have to be anyway, right? Okay, so put that there. Let's move on to lighting, okay? Sometimes I'll carry a small Phoenix E05, right? It's got 3 different settings. Now these are the same ones that I put on my sheath systems. This is our Phoenix E05 Hawk light assembly with holder, right? The whole assembly with the holder and the light, okay? Give you a good look at it. It's a Phoenix E05. You can see how small it is. 85 lumens, the highest setting, okay? If the knife is big enough, like this one, okay? This knife here, we're going to put an E12 on there. A Phoenix E12, which is a little bit bigger, a little bit wider, and a little bit longer than this one. And it's like 160 lumens, right? Are there better lights out there? Probably. But this is a really good light that works and works well for how we do it, right? Because it's got a lanyard hole in the back of it. So does the E12. The E12 has a push button on the back too, okay? Which makes it even more convenient, okay? But I need to be able to put a split ring through a lanyard hole on the back of the light in order to put a mil-spec shock cord retention system on it, okay? That's one of my requirements, right? This one fits the bill. Plus, it's completely cylindrical in a Kydex as well. So does the E12. That's why I use them. It fits my criteria, and they're great lights that are waterproof. Remember that one too. Your light on that sheath, it's got to be waterproof, or at least highly water resistant, okay? And the ones that I use are. A lot of the ones on the market, like some of the night cores, they're not waterproof. I won't use them, okay? So this is like me thinking for you guys, you know what I mean? I want to give you the best, at the best price, the best quality that you can afford, okay? All right, so there's lighting, okay? I might also carry an Inova micro light. Now these are not technically waterproof, but they are highly water resistant, okay? So I'm comfortable with using them on a sheath system. I've never had a problem with them, let's put it that way, okay? This goes on our standard Hawk light assembly, where I build it into the sheath, and it's inside that cover, you know, and then you can just hit the button or whatever. All right, so for this kit, I carry it on the end of my ferro rod with a striker, okay? Now for this kit, this is a firesteels.com fire steel, okay? In my opinion, the best out there, but you're going to pay for it. This ferro rod right here is like 40 bucks, something like that, $30 to $40, okay? But they have that softer mesh metal, that kind of, I call it lava metal. When you strike it, it actually, when you put sparks out, they kind of bump around and burn for a little longer period, okay? And then this green striker here, this is one of the lightest, most efficient strikers I've ever used. But you got to use it the right way. It's got a burr on one end of it, right here. There's a burr on the shorter end, okay? A burr from where they hit it with a grinder, right? And that burr is what you need to cause the sparks, all right? It's a very good striker, all right? So there's my ferro rod. That goes in the kit, okay? Put this light over here. Ranger bands. I always have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. Ranger bands are invaluable for putting gear together, attaching it to your shoulder strap, whatever. When I was in the Army, I always kept a bunch of these in my rucksack, okay? This knife usually goes in there too, right? In this configuration. Or I can put the tabby dangler shore-up plate on there as well, and then fold it back like this, okay? You can fold them all back like that, and it makes a smaller package so you can fit it into a bag, right? So this goes in there, this knife here, right? Nice utility field knife that I can also wear as a necker or a belt carry or whatever. A lot of versatility in these sheath systems. Sometimes I'll even carry this little guy. This is SECR 2.5. This is a nice small utility blade with a 90-degree spine. Just a great little utility camp knife. Okay, my Carta scales, and this one has an IWB system on it with an ulti-clip. I've been using these for a few years now, at least 2 years, right? Clips on your pants, right? And it's on there. When that clip's on there, it's not coming off until you pop it off, right? So it's an ulti-clip, little sheath system for a smaller utility knife. Okay, that one might go in there. Okay, now in this particular kit, now I have probably 3 of these I got strewn around in different kits. This is a Leatherman Surge. Is it the best multi-tool out there? Some say it is, some say it isn't. It's one of the better ones though. It's got everything I want on it, right? So there it is. It's got a saw, scissors, all that stuff, right? And you'd be surprised. I use scissors a lot. Cutting thread, cutting leather, cutting whatever, okay? Leatherman Surge, that goes in here. Now, all this stuff is fitting in this pouch, okay? I could put it in there, but trust me, it fits in there. Small Altoids tin with a small first aid kit. Bunch of band-aids, piece of gauze, you know, whatever, right? Some pills, personal medication, whatever, okay? Enough for 3 days. Little 90% of your injuries are going to be cuts, okay? Cuts and small lacerations. Band-aids. Think Band-aids, man. Band-aids and good ones. Don't get those cheap Walmart brand Band-aids that aren't going to stay on. Get the good Band-aid brand, mesh, whatever, okay? Super stick, Band-aids, okay? Band-aids. 90% of your medical needs are going to be Band-aids. All right. 10, 20 feet of paracord. And this is the real stuff. This actually came off of a parachute. I'm not going to tell you how I got it, but because it's actually illegal to cut shroud lines off a parachute. But this was, I don't know, 15 years ago or so. But not supposed to do it. It's actually given to me. Somebody else cut them off of there. But this is real paracord off a parachute. Not that it matters. There was one thing in this kit that I would say works really, really, really well for what it is a Victorinox Trekker without the serrations. They're harder to find, but they're out there. Most of them have serrations right here, or back here, maybe, okay? I like the one that doesn't have serrations. However, the one with serrations works well too. I like this one. Number one reason, because it feather sticks perfectly. I mean, you can get really teeny weeny tiny wispy feathers for striking a ferro rod on, or nice thick feathers. This thing is a feather sticking dream, okay? And then it also has, and it's stainless steel, so it holds an edge for a long time. Also has other accoutrements on it as well. Especially, I like a toothpick, right? I like a toothpick. I don't have any teeth left, but I like a toothpick. And small tweezers, okay? They are convenient when you need them, okay? There's that. I think that's it for the kit. Oh, no, it's not it. That's not it. I usually carry a pocket bellows, but I gave it away, and I'm waiting for another one to come. that's actually what spurred me to make this video, okay? I made another one like this last year or so, but this one's a little more comprehensive. This is a bellows, right? If you have a stubborn fire that doesn't want to stay lit or whatever, concentrated bursts of air, O2, oxygen, where you need it, is a big help in keeping a stubborn fire going, okay? Like I said, I usually carry a pocket bellows, the kind that, you know, extends out. These work too. This is a titanium straw. But I recommend the pocket bellows. They work better and they're longer. You don't have to bend down so far with those, okay? And are there better saws? Yeah, there are. Silky Boys, all those, right? The Gone Boys, whatever. This one is light and strong, right? Frequently when I'm out in the bush, I'm hiking, I'm backpacking, right? 2 miles, 5 miles, 10 miles, whatever. I don't want to carry anything more than I have to. And all this gear here is multi-use, okay? I could take this saw, throw it in my backpack, and it's a nice lightweight saw that works and works well, okay? That's what I really like about this. It's strong and lightweight, and it does the job, okay? So that, and that's it. Sometimes I'll carry this guy in there. This is the Cold Steel Colossus, designed by Mike Wallace from Wallace Edge Tools. Okay, but I'm not a big folder guy, but this is a strong folder. Okay, that's it. All right, real quick. At the end of this video, I want to show you this. This is for sale. This entire thing is for sale. The knife, which is a Condor Crotalis. Look it up. Look up the specs. This is a severely underrated knife, right? It's actually very comfortable, very utilitarian, easy to use, tough, and it now has a badass edge on it because I put it on there, okay? This is a feather sticking wonder that's strong, okay? It'll do some light chopping as well, okay? Condor Crotalis. Got a powder coat blade. It's not going to rust on you, right? These coatings are pretty tough. They're hard to wear off. And a basic sheath system with some accoutrements, okay? Now this one has our slide lock belt clip on it, which is perfectly serviceable, right? Almost as nice as a Tech Lock, not quite though, okay? Not quite as strong, but it's still a pretty strong clip, okay? These are the clips we put standard on our eBay systems, right? Our eBay sheath systems, just to keep the price down a little bit, okay? But you always have the option of having a Tech Lock put on one of these as well. You always have the option. Just contact me before you buy it so I can adjust the price, okay? And then there's also a photon light on here, right, that acts as a field expedient hawk light. So you're wearing it in cross draw mode like this, okay? You just press the button and you got a light, okay? Right there on your sheath. It's held on with a Ranger band, nice and tight. Got a ferro rod on the front, paracord wrap, okay? You're not going to lose the light because it's on there with an S-beaner. Now, with the light, you can do whatever you want with the light, but I recommend you just keep it on here until you need it, okay? It's not going anywhere, okay? I've worn these out in the field for days on end, and it stayed right there, no problem, okay? If it does pop out, you put the damn thing back in, okay? But it's got a momentary push light, and it's also got a button on it that keeps it on, okay? So, these are decent little lights. Are they the best? No. If you want me to put an iNova micro light on this, okay, that's damn near waterproof, I'll do it. But these are decent lights, but they're not waterproof, okay? They're water resistant, but not waterproof, all right? Condor Crotalis and Sheath System. It is for sale. Just contact me, right? Make me an offer, right? You get the knife and the sheath. You don't have to wait. It'll come right to you in the mail, all right? And then this one. This is for Anthony Barone. This is his new Tops Tahoma field knife, Sear 1 Tabby Dangler sheath system. This is our knife, so he doesn't get the knife. He'll put his knife in it. These knives, they run pretty close to specs usually, so I don't have any problem using ours to do it. That's not always the case. Generally, I want you to send your knife in. It depends on the knife, but usually I want you to send it in. Okay? Paracord wrap, Tech Lock, Shore Up, Tabby Dangler, Altoids tin assembly that, you know, he's going to put all kinds of stuff in. Right? Alright guys, this is Black Raptor. Black Raptor with ATAX Bones accessories. ATAX Bones. Give you a good look at it. Okay, Tabby Dangler. Nice leather loop, waxed and oiled. Right, it's got some tooling on it. Real cool looking. Okay, Zach built this one. Okay, for certain sheaths, I am perfectly okay with having Zach build them because he is very good at what he does. It's hard for me to say, but he is. All right, guys, he is. I'm telling you guys, he's getting good. There's some things he can't do, and I won't let him do those things because it's quality is number one here. If the sheath system is not right, it doesn't go out that door until it is. Okay? So I check every one, and I'm right there beside him while he's building it. So, all right, guys, this is Doug Wilson with Yellow Hawk Customs Outdoors. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video. See ya!